when he takes you to a free comedy show for date night?
I did a show, and I was talking to someone in the audience, and I asked the person, like, how did you end up here? And he goes, well, I looked up dive bar comedy show online. I was like, so you were at home like, you know what I'm in the mood for tonight? A terrible comedy show.
Dive bar.
It's time to get wild.
That was wild. Welcome to That Was Wild. I'm Adam Macias, and this episode is going to be wild. I am back because apparently YouTube likes when you see a face immediately. So we're going to get to the show immediately, but I just want to say hi. My name is Adam. Welcome to the show That Was Wild, where we celebrate the wild sides of life. If you're new to the show, hey, well, this is what we do. I talk to my wildly funny friends about the wild things happening in the world, and we tell some wild stories. And if you're coming back to the show, welcome back. Welcome back, you wild thing. That's what we're calling you. Or wild freaks. Comment below which one you want to be called. Or you don't want to be called anything. That's also fine. We can keep it anonymous, just like a truck stop bathroom, whatever you want to do. Speaking of a truck stop bathroom, we're going to keep on trucking because this is a freaking motherload of an episode. Josh Edelman, he's a prolific comedian. He does everything. He's a producer of like 6-7 shows. He is a documentary filmmaker, recognized by the New York Times, and he is just out here on social media posting so much amazing content, which you already saw a little bit in the intro here, where he memes the news and makes it about stand-up. If you're interested in all that and his process of making a New York Times award-winning documentary about Al Lubell, you're going to want to listen to this. So strap in. This is going to be an awesome one. But before we get into that, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the show. Like I mentioned last week, I don't have a job right now. So you growing the numbers on this channel really helps me out. We're so freaking close. We're so freaking close. Guys, YouTube has lowered the numbers to 500 subscribers to make it so I can monetize this channel. So please like and subscribe. It really helps me out and make it so I don't have to go back to the job market. I probably will. I mean, come on, let's be honest. But you're going to help me out a little bit, throw some cash my way so, I could give my cat an extra good life. And, and my wife, and soon to be, hopefully, bigger family. Well, who knows? But anyways, let's get on with the show. This is an amazing one. So without further ado, let's get wild.
Your clips do really well on Reddit.
It's the only place they do well. And I was so sure the Iowa, like I was like, this one's going to be. This one's going to be
Joe Rogan, ayahuasca. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's doing like the worst of anything I've ever posted on Reddit. It's so weird because it's like a joke of mine that is like, it feels like it's a guarantee for me when I do it.
Yeah.
Like when I need a laugh.
Sometimes, honestly, it's got to be just like a shadow banned joke.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
But a Reddit seems like a weird thing because like I saw like the normal 700 people that see my thing immediately, like saw it and just nobody liked it. It was getting downvotes, and I was like, well, I was like, if you're gonna downvote, at least leave a nasty comment so I know why. I assume most of my downvotes are other comedians
100%.
that just are trying to get their thing jumping up to the top.
I did go through your comments because I'm like, how mean are the comments on this? And they're actually your comments are really nice.
Somebody asked me out in a comment yesterday on a clip. I was like, I'm not going out with a Reddit person.
Why not, dude? I think I bet you that's probably one of that would be one of the healthiest relationships you would ever find. She's super well read,
fucking hot. She's like just a fucking babe.
She's super well read, like they are super informed on the news. Very liberal. They're going to be liberal as shit, because it's Reddit.
Well, Reddit can go both ways.
I think stand-up Reddit is probably more conservative.
No, I was actually going to say I think I personally find stand-up Reddit.
Yeah, you think so?
Okay. It's a much. Are we recording?
We are rolling.
Oh, sweet.
We'll just kind of.
So you've had good stuff already.
Yeah, we're rocking and rolling. We got Josh Edelman on the show today, and I'm Adam Macias, and this episode's going to be wild. We're talking about stand-up comedy and the phenom of Josh Edelman's prolific level of social media output that he does every week. I feel like
I've been posting.
I feel like you've been really upping it, right?
I can't keep it up. Listen, I post as I create. Like I also like can't help.
That's
I like
a very
can't.
artist thing to say.
I can't wait to post when I make like
Yes.
some people have like
Me too.
strategies and shit. The second I finish anything, it's out there.
Okay.
And then I
Do you
spend
think that's
the next,
a good idea or bad idea?
Bad idea.
Okay.
And I spend like the next hours being like, "Fuck! I should have changed this." But it's already got 6 likes, and those 6 likes are important to my numbers.
Now, I feel the same way. I post a bunch. I had a TikTok channel that had 300,000 views. Left it to do my own thing. Or 300,000 followers. All that kind of stuff to do all this stuff. And
congrats, that's amazing.
And so I'm all about the social media stuff. And then there's a weird thing of like, I feel some juju of like, when I post it, I just want to post it. And then like, boom. But then I'm like, but I should follow the stupid like best times to post and all that stuff. And then oftentimes it literally, I feel like it doesn't matter at all.
I'm going to tell you something. Just so we were just talking about the ayahuasca clip that's not doing well.
Yeah.
2 days ago, I have a clip that is doing well that was like, that I felt was like kind of inside, but it's been doing well. Like,
which one is it?
The clip of people not wanting to date comedians.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no, that one is doing really well.
That one's doing really well.
Yeah.
And I posted that at midnight because I was like, I've often found actually, if I was to say what I think is the best time to post for me, it's at night.
And you know why?
I think people are watching at night.
And India, I feel like too. Or yeah, you know what? I feel like that is true too. Like I feel like
I
don't
watching
get anything.
the most reels at night.
Really?
Myself. Yeah. I'm lying in bed, like not reading the book sitting on my bedside table.
Like, yeah.
Not going to sleep, not doing any of the things that like I should be doing at that time, just endlessly doom scrolling.
That's true. You're very much in on the news. You have a series on Instagram that I love.
And another stupid thing, I should have just created a separate Instagram that is that meme account.
I say there's a lot of stuff about the algorithm doing that, but honestly, fuck it, dude. We're all like maybe eventually turn into a coffee table book or turn into when you get to 100 million followers, maybe or something. I say fuck it, dude.
The truth is, like, if you actually go down my Instagram, you'll see I'm such like this is the phase right now. It'll stop. I won't keep doing this forever. I couldn't keep, like, the truth is I couldn't keep an Instagram up of like a specific thing because I will stop this.
Yeah.
It will end.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
But this is what I'm doing right now.
You got the drive to do it now. And
I'm starting to lose it. I'm already starting to lose it.
But the thing I'm talking about now is the news but comedy. Is that what it's called?
The news, but make it about stand-up.
The news, but make it about stand-up. One of my favorite things I legitimately love it so much. It's very niche for me, but I love it so much. Can I show some of it right now?
Yeah, please. Okay. Happy to. Do you have like favorites that you picked out?
I picked up this week's, but we can actually.
This week, I would say, so this week's did the worst, and I also do kind of think it is my worst batch.
We'll show this week's. There's a few of this week's I really enjoyed, but then we can go back to a few from last week's that I was going through. I was like, oh yeah, these are some bangers.
I am excited to talk about these. I do really enjoy doing. Well, again, as I've started kind of not enjoying doing them.
Okay. This is a very niche one right here. So we're all seeing it right now. This was a clip of a video of a young child being rushed out of the Oval Office because they hit their something happened to her.
They passed out during Dr. Oz's
inauguration, swearing in or something like that.
Your life will be in great danger. Oh my God.
Mr. President.
Press out. Everybody out.
She's okay.
Get out right now.
She's okay. She's okay.
You guys leave tables. Everybody else.
You leaving everything?
It's hard for kids.
And then you had the title of when you accidentally touch the mic with your mouth.
Because it looks like they're getting her to an emergency room. I also considered for this one was almost also when your mouth touches the mic.
the comic you shared a mic with yesterday who swore it was just allergies.
So I get sick so fucking often.
Yeah.
And I'm always I look at some sick motherfucker. They're like, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah. Like literally, it is so true. I'm like, no, that was COVID. You just sneezed into the microphone.
100%.
How was my
that was one that was the like I saw that image and that one came to me
so good.
instantaneously.
JD Vance talking to the Pope when he takes you to a free comedy show for date night. I had a show last night and that happened. And I was like, why did you do this? Dude, you guys have been dating for 2 months. This is insane. This is insane behavior.
I did a show and I was talking to someone in the audience. It was like a show at the Hollywood Comedy. And I asked the person, like, how did you end up here? And he goes, well, I looked up Dive Bar Comedy Show online. I was like, so you were at home, like, you know what I'm in the mood for tonight? A terrible comedy show.
Dive bar.
Dive Bar Comedy. I'm like, you know what I could go for right now? A horrible comedy show.
And meanwhile, and it's not even Hollywood comedy's not even dive bar. It's
but they
like
didn't even look up free. They had to pay. The funny thing is, it was a $20 ticket to go to that show. So they spend I'm like, you could have gone to the Hollywood Improv for the money you spent on this tonight.
That's so funny.
And you didn't even seek I don't know why you didn't just seek out comedy show. Dive Bar Comedy Show.
Why and like the idea of just wanting ruckus in like
Ruckus.
I mean, people love ruckus though.
People love ruckus.
This is honestly one of my favorites.
Wait,
when the worst comic
I had
you know.
a typo there. It says stats instead of starts. Drives me crazy.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. When the worst comic you know starts suddenly getting booked on everything, and it's Marjorie Taylor Greene getting a bunch of money.
This was a good batch. I think this batch really solid.
Yes.
Don't tell lineups.
So don't tell lineups.
So like this one,
yeah.
sometimes I don't know if
This is
people
pretty
get,
inside, but I knew this one. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know if people fully get all the things I'm thinking because like I like how stupid the Top Secret looks.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's part of it for me is just how stupid it all is.
Well, this is what I mean too. It's like this is like maybe this speaks to you being online at late at night on Reels, but this is like a deep meme. I don't know how popular this image was on the internet that much of Elon Musk showing up to a cabinet meeting and writing Top Secret on whatever thing. And then you deciding to make a meme on it, which, I think this shows to your level of like news commitment, like an Onion level of like Daily Show level of like, I read the news every day. And then you taking that extra step of like, how can I relate this to stand-up comedy in LA too?
Well, this one, so what I really do to find them, I look at Drudge Report every day.
Okay.
I'm on Reddit, so I see our politics photos, and then if I feel like I want more, I'll look at the New York Times, Washington Post, and Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, man.
I'm not even digging into the articles. I'm always just looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, like I'll be on Threads or something, and I'll see some picture I haven't seen before, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's
good.
This
one,
will
yeah.
be something.
That's awesome.
Maybe.
Man. Yeah, I mean, this is this is honestly so good though, especially considering I just want to be on Dotel so goddamn bad.
Everyone, audience, that's a very inside one.
This is one I haven't been to the Improv in a long time. So, and you were at the Improv all the time.
Well, so the lab is notoriously a difficult room.
Oh, is it?
I also like that they're judges, like adding to it, like just the judgment.
And then this is a great one. Sorry, I missed the light. The light is the sun.
That was from the New York Times.
And this is my favorite. You guys fucking. Did you mention like what just inspired you to do this one day?
I mean, I've been making memes for a while.
Yeah.
And like what I was really doing mostly was like video memes.
Okay.
And then I kind of did the Super Bowl. I did like a bunch of just single memes, but it kept being a bunch. And I thought to myself, I should have done just a series of like the Super Bowl, but about stand up.
Uh-huh.
And then when Cory Booker did that super long, the filibuster, and I thought that it's like Dave Chappelle at the Comedy Store. I
Just
like
refusing to
grabbed
get off
that, and then I
stage,
went and I saw more pictures, and I noticed I had like had a bunch of them, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just gonna make a series, and then that did okay, And then I was like, I kind of enjoyed making that.
Yeah.
And for a minute, it was helping me deal with the news. I will say recently, I almost feel like it's starting to hurt me.
Oh, really?
It started to be like I'm like looking for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I'm like digging into the news more than I want to be.
Yeah.
And it gets dark.
Yeah, man.
The news gets dark.
My old show, the Daily Misinformer, it was specifically like an onion level. This is why I resonated with this. It's like, it's an onion level. We're looking at news headlines and trying to find a twist and a joke and stuff like that. And then after a while, like, it's fun of like, oh, look at us get these, and then after a while, it's like looking at the darkest jokes. And I'm like, you have to literally take a break from it when it's getting really dark. And then you have to like, how do I find a joke about this?
I had one of like migrants sitting in like a place waiting to.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like
yeah.
it was like a few migrants, and I was like, free comedy show.
Yeah, try to find my advice to you would be try to find joy from it as much as possible, and then take a break.
Really, with all the memes from the very beginning of me doing them, I think the reason they're good is that 50% of them are about me. Like it's like the willingness to be self-effacing and notice like the rotten qualities you have.
My favorite was Morgan Wallen. Get me back to God's country.
Give me to God's country. I love Fourth Wall.
I literally,
I was there today.
It just made me laugh out loud so goddamn much. It's so perfect. But speaking of the lab and all that good stuff, so you do produce an insane amount of shows.
Yeah, I've got a brand new one starting next week. When's this coming out?
This will be out next week.
This will be out next week. Please come to my new show at the Lyric.
Oh, really?
The Lyric Hyperion. I'm
heck yeah.
producing it with Harper Rose Drummond.
Oh, cool. Did you produce her?
I edited her special.
You edited her special. That's another thing. You are. This is what I mean by prolific. You are doing these memes. You're editing all this stuff. You are editing this. You are producing an insane amount of shows. You're doing stand up on top of that. You are out here, man.
I'll tell you. It really helps to live a life where if your brain is idle for a moment, it starts to crush your soul. So you need to distract yourself from your own misery with constant stuff.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all.
If you are just so miserable that the only way to escape it is to constantly do things, it's very helpful.
Oh yeah,
it's very helpful.
I have that as well. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The deafening silence. I mean, you want to know crazy and like I've got so many problems. I'm like so addicted to my phone.
Oh yeah,
to the point that it's a problem. And I've started tricks to get myself.
Really?
Yeah, this is what I do.
Okay.
I will go to movie. I have an AMC pass.
Yeah.
I will go to movies that I know I won't like so that I'm forced to be off my phone for 2 hours and I don't want to pay attention to the movie. So it just lets myself think for 2 hours.
Okay.
Is that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Why not do a movie that you are going to like? Because then
I go to movies I like. I go to movies I
movie.
like too, but I also want to like just think off my phone for a bit. I need to be forced.
Listen, I need to do some thinking. Here, let me go watch the Lego movie.
I look like somebody in alcohol rehab in there. Like I'm sitting there.
People are literally like, you're like having emotional breakthroughs while people are like, chicken jockey.
I came up with the title for my new Edinburgh hour that I'm doing this year while I was at one of those while I was at a shitty movie.
What was so what's the most recent movie you did this meditation at, I guess?
Okay, so this one feels unfair because it is technically a good movie, but
Stop qualifying it.
Well, I went to a Princess Mononoke re-release.
Oh, okay.
That was the most recent.
I fucking love that movie, man.
Yeah, it is a good movie, but I went and zoned out. I'd seen it before.
You were zoned out.
I'm going to this thing I've seen before to zone out.
You're like making AI art on top of it.
No, I can't have I don't have my phone. I don't have my phone out.
Yeah.
I did Novocaine was where I went to Novocaine, which I didn't like.
Okay. Take that, Jack Quaid.
Sorry, Jack.
You didn't enjoy Jack Quaid getting the
I like
shit
Jack.
kicked
I like
out of him?
Jack. I just didn't care for Novocaine. But go support original movies. Please go see it.
Okay.
Go see it and just think. Just come figure out your
Right.
Edinburgh title.
So what did you get your what is it?
It's called
Beat the shit out of Jack Quaid.
No, it's going to be called Everything is Embarrassing.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think because I realized I was like, everything's embarrassing. This is embarrassing. I think so much about how like I look at social media posts I was posting in 2016.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
You made a post. Isn't this?
Are you talking about like the getting high and feeling embarrassed about the things you've posted on social media?
Yeah. Didn't you say?
Yeah.
This literally thing. Yeah.
And I like to get high and feel embarrassed about everything I posted on social media
There you
throughout
go.
the day.
Yeah.
I do. I would get high and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah. No, that is. I've been there, man.
Everybody's social media. I don't care who you are. Everybody's social media is embarrassing. It just is.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most desperate thing in the world.
Well, you want to talk about real embarrassing social media? Kanye West.
Kanye's is top embarrassing.
Easily the most embarrassing. Did you see his most recent?
He's crossed such a line. He's crossed such a line of embarrassment. Like, can Kanye's social media be embarrassing anymore?
Have you seen the most recent one
Like
about
Joe for life for
cousins?
killing-
So this is okay. So this is insane. This is from Ye, the Kanye West Twitter account, tweeted earlier this week. The song is called "Cousins" about my cousin that's locked in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we decided we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and I sucked my cousin's dick till I was 14.
I'd heard about this tweet, but that was the first time I've seen it in the flesh.
Yeah. My name is Ye, and I sucked my cousin's dick till I was 14.
You know, there's a problem when you're in the public eye. It's like, and you're this mentally unwell, there's a line you cross that you can't really come back from. I can't forgive Kanye. There's no world where I can like fully ever like accept Kanye again as much as I loved
God,
him.
no. God, no.
All the anti-Semitic stuff is just
There's just no way.
beyond the pale.
It's like, oh, well, he sucked dick. Well, that's why he's got a Nazi swastika on him. He was sucking dick till he was 14.
It's
I
like,
forgive you. Like, what did you want out of this, man?
not that there's anything wrong with it, but I do remember very funny like when Kevin Spacey got in trouble for like molesting that guy, and he was
yeah.
like, and his strategy was to come out as a gay man, and then nobody cares. Like, well, now everyone knows I'm gay too. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it was hilarious. Like, it was a secret he was keeping that he like pulled out to try and get
It's like,
out of.
No, Kevin, all of your characters have been gay. We kind of just always assume. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing. But I guess this weirdly relates to your documentary because on top of this, because I just watched your documentary
Thank
earlier
you for
today.
checking out. I appreciate
The
that.
mentally Al, mentally Al, which is about Al
Lubell.
who is a comedy fucking legend. Which how cool was that to do this?
It's so interesting because I met Al when I was like 15 or 16 years old because I just randomly went to my local comedy club and he was the headliner, and it was the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. And I became like obsessed.
He
with
seems
him.
like such a silly person, and he really does deserve to be so much more famous.
I mean, he's the fun, like he's just like, you know, beyond the documentary, I've talked to Al for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours.
He seems like just a fun dude to be.
And
hang out with.
even when he's saying the most depressing thing you've ever heard, it's still also always the funniest.
Yeah, that's what I found. That's what I will say. I really enjoyed the documentary because I was expecting it to be kind of like a bummer town sort of thing. Because
some people feel that way about it.
But I honestly, it was not. He made it such a light level of it, and obviously your editing and the way it was directed helped with that too. But he is such a lighthearted character. The only part maybe that like I was just like, yeah, this mom stuff is pretty dark. It's pretty dark.
That's where it definitely gets the heaviest.
Yeah, but the way he speaks about a lot of things, he's and he definitely deserve way more credit for the alternative comedy level of things, because the way he just does, he's been doing alternative openings to stuff before it was cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, like literally in the documentary, you see him just walk out singing about how he's going to sing the whole show.
It's just an amazing opener.
What's so brilliant about it, and what I've watched so many audiences like twist in their seats when he's doing it, is he does that. You first think he's joking.
Right.
Then you start to believe he's really going to do it.
Yeah.
Then you're afraid he's going to do it. Then you start laughing about him doing it. Then it becomes hilarious that he's doing it.
Yes.
But you still want him to stop doing it.
Yeah.
And you're still afraid he's not going to stop.
Yes.
And then he stops for a second, and then you're kind of sad that he stopped. And then he starts doing it again, and then you're worried he's not going to stop again. And it's like the way he is so in control of you as an audience member when he's doing that.
And he's control of you, but also listening to you.
He's listening.
It's the listening for me, because he even talks about it in the documentary of like how he wasn't sure if he was going to start doing it in this kind of like older, it was a casino.
At the Borgata?
Yeah, he wasn't sure if he was going to do it, where you said, hey, you're not going to do it, right?
He's
like, oh, I was thinking about it. Maybe I shouldn't.
He's literally sitting there being like, this audience can't handle weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so you're not going to open with the singing thing? And he's like, no, I'm going to open with it. And then it cuts to him doing it, and they are not liking it.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts back, and he's like, I shouldn't have opened with that singing thing.
But he's not so stringent on it. He's gonna do it, but it's not gonna be like he'll abort essentially, right? Which is really, there's a lot of comedians that won't necessarily would do that. They would do it the whole way through because they have a punchline they need to get to or whatever.
Well, it's funny. There was a story.
It's more of a performance and vibe.
There was a story he told me. It didn't make it into the documentary, but it was like something about Andy Kaufman that he had learned with like Andy Kaufman, who's doing like the weirdest, most out there stuff. And then like it wasn't working. And then like he changed his whole act the next night.
Yeah.
And it was like even Andy Kaufman like still wants you to like us.
Yeah.
We all still want you to like us.
Yeah. It's a really great documentary. But the one thing, I guess, it's loosely related, but how he talks about in the documentary about how his friend did go down on him.
Yes, convinced him to let him suck his dick. He's telling the story on Maron, the little animated sequence.
Did you grow up at the Bates Hotel?
Right. Yeah, I think so. The way I do my mother and my act, people say it reminds that.
So you didn't jerk off till you were 20?
Till I was 20. And that's a whole...
I'm so sorry.
Well, it's even worse than that. A guy who turned out to be gay convinced me to let him put his mouth on my penis.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gay. Years later, I thought maybe I'm gay. I let this guy do that because he convinced me. He said, Al, if you're going to play with yourself, he was my best friend. He was 3 or 4 years older than me. Mm-hmm. He goes, just pull your pants down, start playing with yourself.
Yeah.
And I did it. I couldn't do it because I'd never done it before and I was scared. So he said, I'll put my hand on it.
Yeah.
And I was not in it. I said, what are you, gay?
Yeah.
And he goes, no. So I go, okay. Okay. So he puts his hand on it and still nothing happened.
Yeah.
He goes, look, I don't want to do this. You think I don't want to do it, but obviously you need stimulation.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll put my mouth on it.
Uh-huh.
And I go, look, I'm not a moron. Just admit to me you're gay. If you admit you're gay, I'm not going to let you touch me, but don't lie to me. Just admit you're gay.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm not gay. So I go, okay.
There's an added part when he does his show that I always think is so funny, where he goes, after he does the whole story about the guy going down on him, he goes, a lot of people come up to me after the show and they'll be like, why would you tell that story? And it's like, well, you know, as a comedian, one of my biggest fears is people stealing my material. But who would steal that? Kanye. Kanye is the answer.
Yeah, Kanye's already stealing stuff. So, and what I thought was super interesting is that while he's visiting his mom, speaking of his mom, he actually stayed at your parents' place.
He stayed at my parents' place.
How wild was that?
It's funny how it's like I really didn't want to at first.
I'm sure you didn't. Well, did you not want to break like a journalistic level, or you just didn't want to because
I didn't want it to break? But and this is the thing, I didn't really fully. I accepted it at a certain point because the thing about Al and what that part becomes, and in my opinion, and a lot of people think that's the best part of the documentary, And it's certainly one of my favorite. I love just having my parents in it. That like means a
Yeah, that
lot
was
to
cool.
me.
Yeah, got to see little baby Josh in the pictures. Yeah,
But what's amazing about Al is he's so desperate and he's so like needy for help. And he goes, he has this way of getting people to go wildly out of their way for him.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm making this documentary about him and he gets me to give him a place to stay while making it.
Yeah.
And I just want to be clear, like I fought doing that.
Really?
I wanted to just watch this, but I ended up realizing when I'm in the editing room, like, oh, that's what he did here. He he got the documentary crew to put him up.
So wait, how did that go? How did that happen?
I don't even quite remember.
You don't remember?
Just no. Oh, yeah. He was gonna stay at his friend Bob's house in like Tampa, where we go to Bob's house at a certain point, which is 5 hours away from where his mom is. And he's gonna go back and forth 5 hours every day. I'm like, just stay in my parents' house.
So he's made it easier for you too.
I couldn't. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. My journalistic integrity stops where my own personal convenience ends.
I mean, it was a great party because I love that your dad was like, oh, he's a contemporary of mine. Your dad was a legitimate fan.
Well,
and stuff.
I made my dad a fan.
Oh,
like
cool.
when I saw him that first time, I was like, Dad, you got to go see this guy. And then my parents would start going to see him when he was in town.
And then he was telling a story about how his ass was hanging out in the fucking
at the airport.
Just a great documentary. It was so great that it did win Best Comedy Documentary from the New York Times
in 2021. Yeah,
that's pretty. Again, man, the hustling on you, man.
It's amazing. It honestly has put a lot of pressure on me for.
Oh, you got any follow-ups?
The funny thing is, I do have one other documentary idea.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll ever make it, and there's many reasons why I probably won't. But I do think I could make an incredible documentary about the birth of Slotted through the pandemic.
Okay.
It would be
so
kind
including
of about
Fourth Wall.
Fourth Wall, Burt's. It would mainly be about Fourth Wall and Burt's, but I do some about Marty's as well.
Prepare for Ian Iaruso to stick his head out again.
Nothing to say on
no
the topic.
comment.
But well, I would end at the pandemic.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And I would do maybe like a little
at the
epilogue.
pandemic.
Yeah. It would be about like the period of it starting.
Okay.
Kind of becoming this like little mini subculture of comedy in Los Angeles.
Interesting.
Like it really was like a home to like the people who didn't have. I felt like, at the beginning, like people really were like Burt's loyal, Fourth Wall loyal. There was a little feud between them.
And you were a manager over at Burt's.
I was a manager.
Where's that
at Burt's.
located at?
It was in near where Best Comedy Club near me is.
Oh, okay.
now.
So the Zephyr area.
That area, yes. A little further west.
Speaking of your shows, you're like doing the documentary. We briefly touched on how many shows you're doing, but let's just break that down real quick. You have Hot Dates, which is is that part of LA Underground or no? That's
yes,
just
yeah. But I've created a separate account for it because I don't want to be posting.
Yeah,
I didn't want LA Comedy Underground to become a Hot Dates
because it's weekly
Instagram
right?
since it's weekly. But I post. So what I'll usually do when I get everything together in time is I'll do shows for the month on the LA Comedy Underground. Yeah. And I always include Hot Dates every Wednesday.
Yeah. So you got Hot Dates, which is weekly.
Which
you produce with Reed Rackenberry.
Which I produce with Reed.
Which is he's apparently, by the way, a Canadian celebrity. I found out very recently. Yeah. You should talk to him about that. Somebody recently told me he's a Canadian celebrity. You should talk to him about that.
I need to get more info on this.
And I love Reed. Reed's
so funny.
I'm like literally kind of scared of him because he's so intensely funny.
I don't know how Reed would feel about me saying this even, but I think Reed is one of the most underrated comedians in LA.
100%. I feel like he also feels that way too.
He definitely feels that way. He 100%
and that's why I feel he is intense. And I'm just like, yeah, man, like you're funny, man. Like you're funny, man.
I do Hot Dates every week. And every week Reed gets on stage with new material that is fucking tight. And good,
so funny,
and strong, and well written,
so good,
and well thought out. And I'm like, the volume of good material Reed writes
100%
is is mind blowing. And on Hot Dates, he's constantly doing crowd work, and I'm always impressed with the crowd work he does.
So good. Like,
so good.
I literally
top to bottom.
So
if
good.
you're watching this and you book a show, book Reed.
Such a funny dude. Literally just be like, please just don't hurt me. Like I'm so scared of you.
He's a tiny guy. He's a tiny guy.
I don't know why he scares me. It just scares me. But seriously, buddy,
he's angrily hilarious.
But yeah, and but like I'm so kidding. He's like such a lovable dude.
You know what I love about Hot Dates, and people have asked me like, "What's your favorite show, Josh?" And the truth is, I really do.
No, Hot Dates is good.
I really do love all 4 of them equally because they all feel like my different children.
But let me just go through these because they are so different. So we got Hot Dates,
weekly
show. You got we got Undiscovered Genius, which is at the lab, which is just kind of like a undiscovered talent sort of vibe, right?
What I do is every month I pick somebody who I like Reed. I've offered Reed the spot. He turned it down actually.
Oh, really?
Because he had his own lab. Just like, I got to promote my own lab.
Oh yeah, Read the Room.
I give somebody who I think is like one of the most underappreciated. Either someone who I think's gonna blow up.
Gotcha.
Somebody who I think should have blown up, or somebody who I think is just such a unique talent that doesn't get recognized.
Yeah.
I let them headline, and then I tell them to send me 15 names of people they love, and then I book the lineup with of who they submit.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man. That's really
I like
rad.
to have a little control, but I like to let them.
That's rad.
I like it to be their show.
And so how long have you kind of been working with improv that way?
So I believe I was the first show back after the pandemic.
Oh, really?
And the show started as a promotional thing for the documentary.
Oh.
The very first one was only me and Al.
Oh, really?
And then I sold it out so fast that they're like, "Do you want to keep doing this?"
Nice.
And then I was like, "Yeah." And then I made it kind of about finding different Als.
That's rad. That's really
rad. Because I consider
rad.
Al an undiscovered genius. And that was
100%.
that was kind of the starting off point for that. And there's a bunch of different reasons why I think the formula works real well. I mean, like, usually, it's one of the things people say is the biggest challenge is getting people out to shows. When you make somebody the headliner at the improv,
at the improv,
they're excited to get to do
come to the show.
Like, a lot of these people don't get to do 20 plus minutes at a comedy club.
It's almost like when you give somebody fucking praise in this town, they get excited and want to tell people about it. You know what I mean? It's a great show.
Thank
from
you.
What I've seen. And then on top of that, for that, you have Well Dressed, which a day after this you are filming.
Tomorrow.
From the filming, you are doing, it's the Roosevelt Hotel.
It's the 3-year anniversary tomorrow. Let's see if people show up. I mean, it usually fills up.
What a cool.
But I am, every show, I don't look at my tickets because I've experienced so many times of having nothing sold and then the day of selling 60.
Oh, yeah.
So I just don't,
Same.
I'm like, I don't need that added stress. I just do what I would do if the show had sold no tickets.
Yeah. Which is just hustle. Yeah.
I put out a Nextdoor today for the show.
You put a
I went on Nextdoor. You know Nextdoor?
Yeah.
Like, hey, someone got stabbed in the alley, and I went comedy and jazz show tomorrow. Maybe I get 2.
That is hilarious. I love that. I'm gonna do that now because I produce a show at the Glendale Room. That is so fucking funny. That is amazing. Is it the first time you're ever doing that?
That was the first time I've done the Nextdoor.
That's okay. Let me know how that works out.
I might do a partiful tonight.
They're like, okay, but were there any coyotes? Let us know.
Man stabbed outside the best comedy and jazz show in Los Angeles.
Okay, but tell us how many coyotes there were.
That's how I'm gonna write. That's how I'm gonna write my Nextdoor next time. Homeless man defecates on 3 people outside of Undiscovered Genius at the Hollywood Improv.
And also, it's only a 2-drink minimum.
He puked on up-and-coming stand-up comedian who booked the lineup.
and by the way, the stuff he puked looked pretty delicious. The food, the nachos looked really good.
Really quality food.
But that's so good. But this show looks really, really. I don't think there's enough of this version of stand-up shows where we class up comedy enough.
It's definitely the show people hit me up about the most. And when I book someone
you have a full jazz big band.
There's a jazz band on
Everybody's
stage.
dressed in
Everyone's
full
wearing suits.
3-piece suits, sometimes 4-piece suits, Are women dressed in like lounge attire sometimes?
I tell people to dress. I like people to dress up and be themselves. Like I want you to
Okay.
wear. I want you to wear a suit, and I
Yeah.
want you to be classy, but be your version of classy.
Okay.
Come like Mateen Stewart wore like this headdress thing
Oh,
when
that's
he did it.
awesome.
Yeah, like people have worn like sparkly suits
Love it.
before.
That's amazing.
I like people to be themselves, but
That's got to be one of the most unique shows in LA. Gotta be.
It's definitely. If you asked other people what's Josh's best show, that's the one that they'd say.
How is the band involved in that show?
So the truth of the band, it's funny. So it's the band leader is the guy who did the score for my documentary.
Oh, cool.
And what happened was I went to a show at the Roosevelt. This show is no longer there, but I saw the show and it was a terrible show. And I was like, this is such a waste of this beautiful room in this great hotel. I was like, I've always wanted to like wear a suit when I performed, but like, I always felt weird like putting on a suit to perform in the garage behind Food for Less. So, and then I saw this terrible show and I was like, let me see if I can get it here. So I knew someone that knew the person who ran the Roosevelt. They got me a meeting with them. And the idea for the show was just comics wearing suits at the Roosevelt.
Okay.
And I went and I was in the meeting and I was like, the idea is comics, classy, wearing suits, performing. He goes, what else? And I didn't have it. And I just went, and there's a live jazz band. And the guy goes, done. And then I was like, fuck, I got to get a live jazz band. So I called the guy that did the score for my doc. And I'm like, hey, do you want to do
That's rad.
this thing? And I'll get you a monthly gig.
So you really are like a jack of all trades sort of guy.
My philosophy with everything in life is I sit around and I look online at people and listen, also, my life circumstances are different than a lot of people. But I see people constantly complaining about not getting booked on shows, about how hard it is to get someone to greenlight your movie, and all these things. And I just say to myself, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to wait for someone to tell me yes. I'm going to produce all the shows I want to be booked on.
Yeah.
And that way I've got a weekly show and now I've got 4 monthly shows.
Nice.
So that gives me 8 to 9 shows a month that I'm on every month. And my shows are good.
I love it.
So each one's good in its own way. And I've got 9 good shows I start out with.
How often would you say you get booked on other people's shows?
Fairly often. I mean, a mixture of people who want me to book them.
Do you ever do like the trade-off sort of thing? Like, I'll book you on this show, you book me on this show.
The only real scenario where I do that is when I go out of town.
Oh, okay.
I wink, wink, quid pro quo.
Nice.
When I'm sending messages. Because I want to do I go to New York for a month. And
okay.
I hit up, I'll literally go to New York and I'll message 400 shows. And I'll get booked on 30. And I produce the LA Comedy Underground. Check them out. Wink, wink.
I literally, I have, as a producer of a show, I get that a lot. I do the wink, wink sort of thing. And it's usually like, it's more wink, wink. But very often, I've recently got a very if you book me on this show, I will book you on this show. And honestly, I appreciated it. I was like, fuck this cloak and dagger shit. Let's just be honest. Hey, we're trading shows. Honestly, I don't give a shit.
Here's my
you put me on this show, I'll put you on your show. Let's do it.
My personal feeling on the matter. And again, in part, it's I've already created 9 shows for myself a month. So I don't necessarily, I'm happy to, I love doing shows.
And you have at great venues too. You don't necessarily need to be slumming it somewhere else.
That's part of my formula for a good show. But I've often found that when the favor when it starts getting into favor places, it's a recipe for disappointment.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for resentment. It's a recipe for not liking somebody I didn't have to not like. So and if you want your shows to be good and you don't want to be and you want to fill them up without them being a bringer show, get a consistent track record of putting on good shows, and then people will keep coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, Hot Dates, we have regulars that are there almost every week.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
part of what's fun about that is it pressures Reed and I to write new material.
That's
because
great.
we know these people are coming back next week.
That's amazing. Nice.
So the one show you missed on your thing, I have Gripe Juice, which I do with Nikki Bond, which is an after brunch show, which is my very first show that I started in 2019.
I do not have that one. Gripe
2019
Juice.
with Liz Glazer. It was my first show. After brunch show at Bar Covell and Los Feliz, and like the little side room over there.
Okay.
Before I got back into comedy, I went to a show that was a brunch time show, and it was like one of the best shows I ever went to. And I loved the idea of a brunch show. Like brunch to me is like the last thing you do in your weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, get that one last hit of fun in before you got to go back to real life on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So 3:00 at Bar Covell with Nikki Bond,
which is the musical improv show.
No, that's just a stand-up show
Just
at
a regular
brunch time.
Yes.
The musical show, it's called Yarn Ditties.
Yarn Ditties.
First one is if you're watching this podcast this Saturday, 'cause it's coming out next week, right?
Yes.
So this Saturday.
Oh, that's the first
Lyric Hyperion.
Gotcha.
First ever Yarn Ditties. Me and Harper Rose Drummond. Storytelling and musical improv.
Just producing so many freaking shows.
And I've got notes of more ideas for them.
So what's next for you? Let me just ask you that. What do you think you want to do?
Be famous.
Yeah, like how do you
have something pop off? Have anything?
What do you what's your goal? What's the one thing if you was going to pop off next? Obviously, like if you had to pick, like
it's weird because it's like
is it a social media clip that pops off for you? Is it like somebody catches you at hot dates?
Well, I have
it a show that like pops
so
off?
at some point this year, my special that I filmed is coming out.
Oh, really?
I don't actually have control over when or where it comes out because it was financed by this company.
Oh, cool.
But I think it's really good.
Okay.
I really feel good about it.
Hell yeah. Nice.
I think it's really cool and unique. I did like a little intro and outro that even though it's like a 30-second intro and a 2-minute long outro, gives the whole thing sort of a very like short film feel.
Nice.
It's a stand-up set.
Cool.
But like there's something that I think there's like a beginning and an ending that really tie the whole thing into
Hell
a
yeah.
nice little thing.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about it. I called it the Drew Rogan experience. Because that's what the show was called when I did it in Edinburgh.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
And I don't do
the
the
Drew
podcast
Rogan
anymore.
experience.
The Drew Rogan. Rogaine experience.
Oh, okay. So you changed it. Was that also the name
No,
of your podcast?
it was always
too?
the Drew Rogaine.
Rogaine.
Experience.
So that is the one thing you decided to drop, by the way, the podcast. You stopped doing that after a while.
I'd love to keep doing it. It was the thing that was like the thing that I wasn't keeping consistent enough with that had the most amount of work that I didn't like doing.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked recording it.
Was it a video podcast or
Yeah.
just audio? Okay.
Yeah. And I spent so much time cutting that clip.
Yeah.
And
it just wasn't
mixing
worth
that
it.
audio and like making it good.
Maybe not necessarily seeing the
return.
returns. Yeah.
And I'm sure that I had a podcast that was successful once years ago.
Really?
Years ago. What
was it called?
Kind of success. It was called Who Would You Do? And it was a podcast my roommate and I in like 20.
Was it Mark Zuckerberg that
12
was your co-host?
No, in like 2012.
Hot or not?
No, what we did is we picked a fictional universe every week.
Okay.
And we talked about the sex lives of the characters, who we'd be in relationships with, what our lives would be like inside of the fictional universe. And then we do a Mary Murder fuck at the end of every episode.
Nice.
With characters from that universe.
That's
So
rad.
it'd be like the Batman universe.
Okay.
Or I did one recently. Nikki and I tried to bring it back for like a second. We recorded one episode. It was very fun. It was about Barbie. But also I felt like I'm too old to be doing Who I'd Fuck.
Who I'd fuck. Then again,
I'd
it'd probably
fuck.
fucking crush right now, dude.
Fuck Margot Robbie.
Mary Ken.
But
And
like,
then-
it was fun
and
to
then-
try.
yeah.
It was fun to try and come up with the Mary Murder fucks and make them challenging. I gave like Nikki. I was like Ken at the beginning of the movie. Ken like once he learns about the patriarchy, and then Ken once he like is like fixed at the end.
Yeah. That's good.
And I was
And then,
like-
of course, kill ugly Barbie. Of course, kill that one.
yeah. Exactly.
But
Weird Barbie.
But truthfully, that podcast would destroy right now. You know that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we should bring
who
it. We
would
should
you
bring it.
fuck?
Nikki just had a.
Yeah, like, who would you fuck that would destroy on Facebook and Instagram right
It
now?
was good. It was
Yeah.
a good show. And I think the Drew Rogan, I was like, I was doing, I think the prep work was getting me.
Oh, yeah.
I would like write, I would always do joke fake ads during it.
Oh, yeah. No, podcasts, they really do take a lot. I mean, that's why I don't do any other social media clips anymore. I reached out to another comic recently to cut my stand-up clips because I literally don't have the mental capacity to do one. I mean, I had a clip actually from Hot Dates. I mean, arguably my set was not good from Hot Dates. I'll admit it.
I don't remember.
You don't need to hey, man, don't even worry about it. But there was a person in the audience. I don't remember, but there was like, I had asked the audience like, hey, are you guys into threesomes? And the guy was like, nah, man, it's a mental illness. And it was just like, it was such a weird, and there was only like two people in the audience.
That show.
Yes.
You were at that was one of my favorite Hot Dates ever.
Yeah.
And they came back.
They did.
They've come back. They've become semi-regular. I couldn't believe it when I saw them again.
That's awesome. And so there's a clip.
I love those guys.
There's a clip of that I'm like, this could be funny. This could be really funny because they're from Virginia.
I should dig into that show because I think I have clips with those people that I should be posting.
And I think
thanks for reminding me.
100%. I think that whole show with those people was really, really funny. And I'm just like, I think if I were to clip this, I think it could be good. And I'm like, I just can't with all these because I'm posting 3 of these. And then I'm also like, am I even fucking funny? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so with bad audio too. And I don't know, like, it's just rough.
Well, we'll go, it's emotional highs and lows in this business.
But I think with podcasting, it can be a lot of draining because you're doing like so much of it as well.
But at the same time, like I produced this woman's and it's been going on for a few years and I have watched her following grow to like 3,000 people from like nothing.
And I will say,
how's this doing?
It's good. We've been growing a lot lately, a lot, and because I've been kind of mostly just focusing on this, so it's like, okay, maybe my Instagram isn't going so much, but this has been growing. So what are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I'd love to be making money off this. So what are you gonna do?
Right?
Yeah.
I let Harper and Gabby have Tea Time, which like they make their living off of right now, and it's a great podcast, and they've been doing it for years, and they have over 100 and something episodes. That's really the biggest trick I've learned is like
consistency,
staying consistent, keeping it up.
Yeah.
Keep putting the stuff out and your following will grow. You'll find your people.
And that's what it is with it's great with news because there's always going to be crazy news and you can always do news, but stand up.
I mean, it is interesting. Like, I still feel so far from anything substantive regarding a following that can like make anything happen for me. But I have noticed like I did grow from like 1,000 to 2,000 to 8,000 pretty fast.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
And that 8,000 feels good. And I'd like it to be 800,000.
Was that recent?
Getting to 8?
Yeah.
I had like 3 things. I had like 3 batch follows.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you saw when I made like, again, if you go through my Instagram, you'll see these little chapters.
Yeah.
There was a chapter when I was in New York with this girl, Veronica Kwiatkowski, and we were doing like these dating videos.
Okay.
And those were going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They were getting like 4 million views. Like each one. It's funny. We made like 5 or 6 videos and 5 of them topped 1 million. And then my absolute favorite one I knew was not going to do well. And it got like 20,000.
Isn't that the worst?
I mean, I knew.
Isn't that the
I knew it
worst?
demanded too much attention to do well, and then the other ones were easily digestible.
I hate that.
But it's one of my favorite videos I've ever made.
You were talking about earlier about how a video is not doing well, but it does well in person. The joke does well in person. I just that's what I despise about social media the most is like, what's the point? Like, if it's like, I feel like that's a scam. I feel like that's a scam. If it's like, if I can make real people in front of me laugh and stuff, and obviously it's like, whatever, cry me a river. Well, how funny really are you at the end of the day? But like, if I'm making people laugh, ultimately, and then I'm like throwing something out online and it's like, I only got a few of those. It feels a little bit of like a scam when
I'm crushing in the clip.
Yeah.
That's bombing online.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, even like people who do social media and don't have like an audience in real life, they don't get the audience in real life. So when they go to social media, they don't know like, oh, that idea is dumb. But it's like, no, that idea is good because I got real people to laugh at it. And it's like, well, what the fuck? Zuckerberg? What the hell, you know?
Every single person in the room is laughing at the joke that nobody's laughing at online.
And yeah, it's like, this seems like a scam, but it's ultimately, you were talking about with yours is ayahuasca, which is probably because it's shadow banned because of drugs or something like that.
What I like to say to people is I'm like, anyone who ever asks me for social media advice, I'm like, listen, you're not going to stay consistent if you try to fit into what people want you to do. What you got to do is find something you love to post that, and if nobody likes it, it just means you suck as a person. It just means you're terrible.
It just means you're fucking
terrible. Terrible deep down on the inside. That there's something deeply wrong with you.
Well, that's a good transition here. We should we'll wrap it up with the Wild Wheel, which is the segment of the show where we spin this wheel, and each one of these little tiles is a game. As a guest, please do me a favor and spin it. Take a big old spin there. Wildflowers.
Wildflowers.
This is one of my favorite. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to show you something, and we're going to give this person their flowers. Okay?
So if I had the chance to date the woman that put a restraining order on me again, I would take her on any date that she can imagine. I would buy her flowers all the time. I would write her love notes. I would do everything right. Because the first time that we fell in love, we were kids.
Okay, so for anybody just listening, we're seeing a man. I think he's standing in a bathtub. I think that's a bathtub, but also it's his bathroom or it's his bedroom. He's got one hand in his pocket, real James Dean vibes, leaning in the wall on his bathroom tub. It's a nice tub. It's a big tub, don't you think so, Josh? Pretty big tub. Full pajamas in the bathtub. Very chill vibes, and he's filming it in the mirror in his bathroom.
Well, at least I was in love, at least. But of course, I had no money, and we weren't allowed to date. Then in high school, I fell in love with her again.
Wait, what?
But I had no money.
Wait, what?
So I only took her on like one date that I can remember. And I never bought her flowers. I never had any money back then. So yeah, if I had the chance, I would do it all right. And I imagine that if her and I were together, that I would want to live forever. And that's a tough woman to find.
Okay. All right, so this is a random video that I found.
I really want to see her video about why she got the restraining order.
Well, yeah, so he said, then I went into high school, so I'm assuming they met before high school. I hope
he said when they were kids.
Yeah, I hope they weren't. The restraining order wasn't when they were kids. I hope to God.
We're all so lonely. Everyone said this is what the world is right now.
Yeah,
it's a world full of lonely narcissists. we are a country full of deeply sad, terribly alone, narcissistic lunatics.
Yeah.
So we're all just a bunch of narcissists in intense pain.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yes.
We're a bunch of this is a deeply lonely narcissist right here.
Yeah. 100%. If you want to turn this into a compliment for him, 100%. But for this segment is a wildflowers where we give a person their flowers. They can be sarcastic. Or you could find something nice about this man who clearly is a stalker. But I'll go ahead and start. What I love about you is that you are just really bearing it all in all of this, including your weird toes.
I want to give him his flowers for how clean his tub is. That is not a guy. If I saw that guy without his tub and you asked me how clean is that guy's tub, I would be like, there's some mold in that tub. There is that guy's tub is so much nicer.
You think he cleans his bedroom before he makes these videos?
I also like that. Like,
we're gonna make my bed.
It doesn't look like a shower tub.
No,
it looks like
that is a jacuzzi tub.
Yeah, it looks like it's one of those honeymoon suite motel tubs.
Yeah, he's definitely trying. He's definitely trying to fuck.
I think that's why he's doing it in the tub. He's like, baby, this could be all yours.
Hey, maybe you should drop that restraining order. And you know what? I don't think it'll work. Best of luck to you, man. Enjoy your flowers. Hopefully they never reach the woman you're stalking. Super wild stuff. But Josh, speaking of wild stuff, you've been very gracious with your time. Thank you so much
for having me. This was super fun.
For donating your time here, man. This has been it's honestly just been really cool getting to know you and watching your documentary, man. Like,
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Mentally Al, you can watch it for free on Amazon TV.
Yeah, watch it on
check it
Amazon.
out. Post a nice comment. I'll share your comment.
Yeah, dude, it's really, really good. It's so good. But speaking of stuff to check out, is there anything you want to plug before we head out?
Come to Yarn Ditties this Saturday, May 3rd at the Lyric Hyperion Theater. It's going to be an awesome show.
Mm-hmm.
It really is going to be. It's like the most different show I've done, and I've been wanting to do this one for a while.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be cool. My next hour is really like very storytelling oriented. So I wanted to create a show that's very storytelling oriented. Harper's been doing this amazing musical improv stuff. She's on a UCB team.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really dope show.
Yeah, man. That's really, really awesome. Well, and people can follow you where?
Josh Edelman Comedy on Instagram, The Edelmeister pretty much on everything else. JoshEdelmanComedy.com is my website that I never update. LA Comedy Underground on Instagram for all my show stuff, but my personal one will share all that as well.
Well, you can follow me at Adam R. Mack for all the social media stuff. Some posting clips of this podcast from That Was Wild Pod, where we'll be, I'm sure that coyote clip will be on there. Again, guarantee it. But thanks so much for coming on the show, Josh. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And please, if you can leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, it really, really freaking helps. Josh, we're going to end the show like we always do. We're going to look down the barrel of that camera right there and say, "That was wild," on the count of 3. You ready? Okay, so on the count of 3, here we go. 3, 2, 1. That was wild.
It's time to get wild.